Okay, y'all, we're back, and this mother knows because we be what?
Just knowing.
Always knowing. Shout out to
Stay.
the moms, like shout out to the moms that continue the knowing. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the moms that be pushing through
Put
day to
girl,
day. Because when
day,
I tell you,
day
I
to
be
day.
pushing through. And I know you be pushing through.
Like, so the push through.
Let's talk about that push
let's
through.
let's talk about the push through, okay? Because you just follow me. Just follow me. So the push through, like this past weekend we had the birthday party for Alani, my youngest. She's turning 3 on April 28th. So just
My spirit,
juggling.
my
Yeah,
kindred spirit.
definitely your kindred spirit. Because let me tell y'all something. Lonnie is gone nuck if you buck. She don't care about no repercussions. She don't care about no pop, no threat, no anything. Like if Lonnie want to do it, she's going to do it.
You gotta do it 'cause I'm about to do it anyway. Yeah, that's my love.
But yeah, so just like juggling everything, and of course, as moms, we think of like the small details. We think of the theme of the party, the color of the plates, what the birthday cake is going to look like, what dress is she going to wear. Oh, she needs a happy birthday headband. Like,
Ariel, can you grab the bouncy house?
sis, can you grab that? Right.
On my way out the door. Now I'm joking.
No, because I gave you ample notice.
You did.
And it
I
probably
still was
still felt
fumbling.
like out the door. Like, okay, throw that in the car real quick.
I still was fumbling, child, trying to get there.
But I mean, so it turned out beautiful. Like I couldn't have asked for a better party. The people that were supposed to be there were there, and it went off without a hitch. But it was
I had a
just
great
like
time.
we had a great time.
I was gonna say,
But
and she had a great time, you know.
I'm like, girl, we had a great time.
Right. The party was about Lonnie. She did her thing,
I'm like,
child.
we had a
So
great time. You ever seen that meme when it's like parents don't throw the party for the kids, it's really for the parents?
it be for them. Especially them back in the day parties when you would have a cooler, when you would open the cooler, you got all them
Wine
beers,
coolers
wine coolers. You knew your parents was having them a good old time.
in the backyard, got the grill going, got the music playing.
Right.
We ain't do
I
it up like that.
We do need to like take it back to like
A
the
good
old
kickback. We
school
need a
kickback
good
days,
kickback.
right?
Yeah, we do.
You
I
know,
was thinking
like
about having one over the summer.
just backyard,
Y'all come, let the kids play. Ariel, bring
right?
your bouncy house.
BYOB, and I'm gonna have that bouncy out.
Bring it on, because literally, when all you have to do is bring it out the trunk,
Hmm.
plug it in, and it just blows up. Like,
Yeah, like in seconds.
girl, the technology of today, because we had to like
Right.
reserve a bouncy house, have somebody come set it up. When I saw what you and Keith brought, that little plug it in and it just automatically, I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a party hit for a minute.
Shout out to Keith's friends because I sure was against it at first. Like, bro, we don't need a bouncy house. But his friend was selling their bouncy house for like $70. It turned out to
And
be
it's
perfect.
a hit.
Right. It fits inside the house and outside,
Right.
so on
Girl,
rainy
the
days,
rainy day, clear out the living room, push the couches back.
right.
Like, I don't think I took a picture of the bouncy house though. Dang it. Did
I
you?
have a few with the kids on it. It was like
Okay.
kind of up close though. And Jamaris took a lot on the camera.
Oh, okay. So yeah, child, ain't no telling when we're gonna see those. And like with a good camera, you take them and then
Yeah. Right. And then put it away somewhere. Like,
right,
where the pictures at?
right. But no, so like the one thing I will say is, girl, Jamaris had the nerve, the gall, and I had to choke
Y'all,
my little retort back
the
because
audacity.
so like of course like yes we're picking up. I need you to touch up the walls with some paint, but I think I was about to ask him to do one more thing or something else, and he was like, just call me to do it all, daddy, sir.
Don't let me run down the list
Right. Don't let me run down the list.
because this party would not happen.
Listen, I done got the birthday gifts. Like oh, babe, oh, that's nice, Lonnie. Like, what you get from mommy and daddy? Yeah, the trip that mommy took to the store
Like
to pick out the gifts.
the cake.
You ain't know what the cake was gonna look like until I walked through the door with
Right.
it. like, come on. Like, I done picked up the date, the bouncy house here because I asked my sister, like,
Calling people,
bring that paintbrush out and hit them walls real quick.
I remember when I was planning Amina's party and I was like, what, like, y'all just be floating, huh? Because, like, if this party wouldn't happen if, like, we didn't make sure things were together. So what do y'all be like? What do you be thinking about in your head? Like, I know you know her birthday's coming up.
It's coming.
So no mention of what are we doing? Like, what can I help with?
Let's think
Like,
about the date. Like, when is it gonna occur? Like,
right.
just anything, just something.
Sometimes it's even exhausting being the person that has to delegate and being the person that you feel like they're gonna be annoyed because you ask them for one more thing. Maybe just volunteer it
Take
sometimes.
that step. Take that first step into the girl. So when he said that, do it all, daddy. Just call me,
I
do
know
it all,
your
daddy.
neck
I
was
was
like,
like,
I know you cocked that
choke it
neck to the
back,
side.
choke it back.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah, so it was nice.
good. I'm glad everything worked
Yeah,
out.
we had a good time.
And for us, my heart was hurt when Amina, because I had worked in my head. We got to the party and you were like, of course, Amina cried when it was time to leave because she didn't want to leave her bestie Lonnie.
Right.
And so I had gotten used to the idea of, okay, well, she'll spend the night. And then when she came outside and was like, Mommy, I just want to come home instead, I was like, no.
I
And
had
so
a feeling though.
yeah, I had a feeling too. And like little kids, she wanted to be with Lonnie, but she also wanted to go home because
And be with her sister, Nine.
to be fair, it was a long day,
Yeah.
probably just wanted her bed,
Yeah.
and just wanted to hang out, hang out home with Naya. And then Keith was on a golf trip and I had mentioned that daddy's coming home. So she was excited to see him.
Yeah. I knew, like, I
Yeah.
was like, girl, she's gonna change her mind.
And sure enough, she was good until I walked back in, or I came back to the door to see if Jamiris could give me some of that lemonade because that lemonade was good. Jim, hook me up with a to-go lemonade.
Shout out to that homemade lemonade.
I was like,
Shout
who's
out to
looking
that
for a
CCW
to-go?
lemonade.
Uh-huh. That thing was good. And so when she saw me come back, she came outside and
Like,
she
hold
saw
up.
me, and then
Like,
it
you
was
know
like,
what? I am gonna miss mommy.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna come home.
Yeah. But it's funny. I had Jamaris laughing. I said, like when you were in the car, and I think I walked out to like see y'all off, and you started to put the car in drive, and then all of a sudden you were like, wait, where's my drink?
Where's my lemonade?
Where's my lemonade? And I
Yeah.
so I had him laughing. I was like, she was not gonna pull off until she was sure that lemonade
I
was
was
in the
like,
car.
let me
Like,
roll from the passenger side.
I'm
To get this
surprised you didn't
lemonade
take a piece of chicken
popping.
with you.
And you have to get everything together. So I had to have my lemonade where it needed to be.
Did you have a
So
piece of chicken or no?
What'd you say?
Did you have a piece of chicken? Did you take a piece of chicken with you or no?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to be disciplined about my intake, but I did have some. I had some at the party, but
Had a little piece.
I didn't go in like
But I
everybody
don't
could
need
have
to
been.
take that home. I don't need to take it on
But when I tell you y'all that fried chicken, where was it from again?
Gardner's. It's this
Gardner
restaurant called Gardner's
in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Girl, don't be giving out my location. Don't be giving out my spot.
Not you gatekeeping fried chicken.
I'm saying don't be giving out my residence.
Oh, my bad. But I mean,
I'm just being silly.
I was about to say that's public knowledge, basically.
Only a few people know.
Okay. All right. You're right. My bad. But no, so for us that weekend, so we had the party and then we had to wake up early in the morning because we had to be at church by 8:30 for these new member classes. Y'all, my family joined the church. Happy to say, like, it's been a while. We've been floating. When we came back from Charlotte, we couldn't find the church that we really wanted because we came back during the pandemic. But we found a church. We love it. We joined. But tell me why we're the first group of people who have to do classes. We're the first set of people set of new members that have to do these new member classes that start at 8:30 before church, and we were already struggling to make it to the 10 o'clock service. So you know that 8:30 is a struggle.
I already told you, girl. That
a
I'm
struggle.
just I'm
It's a
me.
struggle. We only have two more. We have two more.
How many did y'all have to do total?
Four,
Four?
just four. Four.
Just girl, they would have got it every other weekend. They would have got it every other weekend.
You can't become a new member until you satisfy certain criteria.
I would have been a new member.
Yeah, but for us, you know, it's important to us and our family to be joined to a church. So we joined the church, and God is, you know, God be, you know, doing things to use you and to grow you, right? So we were already, like I said, struggling to make that 10:30, that 10 o'clock service. We would be like 5-10 minutes late here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've made it to the 8:30 classes, no problem. So it's showing me that, okay, Ariel, you can make it to that 10 o'clock.
Well,
There's
I
no
mean,
reason why you be late to that 10 o'clock service.
girl, God is good.
For sure. But he's showing me there's spiritual discipline that he's showing me. And you know what popped up was Megan Ashley's latest episode is about spiritual discipline. So it's like, you know, these little signs that, okay, I hear you, God, you know, like,
Well, and I think maybe the side of it for me is like maybe you aren't as far off, or maybe you're pretty good. Because I mean, like with the new members classes, y'all there. Like y'all are there. You're
yeah,
punctual, you're on time, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think it was
And even
easy for you to shift into it.
yeah, it was. But I'm glad to like get those like epiphany moments in the, you know, aha, God is talking to the ahas and the God is talking to me moments, because it just kind of reaffirms or affirms, you know, my thought process about why I'm doing this or why, you know, you have those natural thoughts of like, I mean, all these other members joined and they didn't have to do this. Why am I getting up at 8:30 for four
Listen,
seconds in a row?
because I'm
But
gonna get on your nerves, but I ain't gonna say it again. But you know,
yeah, but for
it's
me,
good for y'all if it's
yeah,
important to you
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
there every week.
And I think that we all have our incremental moments of growth. Like, you know, you could share a story and I'd be like, girl, you know, but for the individual, that's the spiritual growth journey that I'm on, the spiritual discipline that I need to be back on. Cause I was always really disciplined when it came to my relationship with God. But during the pandemic, fell off a little bit. So regaining that traction, you know?
Good.
But yeah. So it's been going good. We got two more. And I was like,
But
I had
wait,
I had to be like, sorry, God, because my first thought was after them two, we might have to miss a Sunday and sleep in. And God was like, girl.
maybe after the four, you know, like you take a little Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And God was like, girl, like,
Not even after the four?
I mean, we're in a rhythm. Like, I feel like the whole point of becoming a new member is like starting out strong, starting out with the gusto. If there's a reason why, but there's really no reason other than me wanting to sleep, like just to satisfy the flesh of wanting to sleep in a little bit longer. I could go to church and then take a nap after. Like it really isn't a huge sacrifice if you think about it. It's just kind of shifting my mindset, I think.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I am.
Go ahead and go for the gusto, child, you know?
I'm gonna go as long as I can go.
And not feel bad if like
Oh
there's a
no,
Sunday, you know?
no. That's the beauty of that this walk too. Like I'm telling you, I'm sharing this with you guys because you know I'm just being authentic to my thought process. But I'm not like, you know, out the old area would have been like feeling bad about it, you know. But I understand that this is a walk and this is a relationship, and a relationship is a, you know, a push and pull. You know, it's the growth process in and of itself is a push and pull. Like,
Yeah.
so I gotta give myself grace.
Yeah, because I think sometimes too, like the perspective is this is a walk. This is a walk that's personal to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think sometimes we, because of how we have been reared in church and the language around, you know, punishment and consequence,
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes the mindset is God is going to judge me, or God's going to be like, you know, like
Yeah.
if I veer a little bit. and instead of it being, okay, this is my personal goal. This is me
Yeah.
leaning into this discipline and this practice to say, this is what I'm going to do
Yeah.
without the fear of judgment, right? From God, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm putting my best foot forward. So
Yeah, for sure.
if I happen to say, all right, today I need a break, do that without the fear of God is going to look at me some kind of way.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's more so of a I have shifted my relationship to more of a like a it's more of a playful, like, okay, God, I hear you. Like
Mm-hmm.
okay, God, I hear you. I hear the nudge because I'm not so I don't really walk too far outside of the will of God that I believe anyway. Our relationship is pretty solid. So it's like more so little small nuances of growing my character. Um and not so much like a huge shift where I feel like horrible about something because
Yeah.
I'm past the point of like, feeling bad about certain things, like taking a drink or, like
Right.
those, I'm beyond the like being convicted about those types of things. So it's more so just little fine tuning refinements for me, you know?
That makes yeah. And I like that word character, right? This is character building. This is,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. But it's like, it really is kind of playful. Like, I hear you, God.
Yeah.
Like, I get the nudge. You don't
Right.
got to get louder. I got it. But I'm not, yeah. So for me, it really is one thing you said is not feeling bad about because you're putting your best foot forward. But for me, is I'm now examining, is this really my best foot that I'm putting forward? There are times when I do need rest, but there are also times when I'm just being honest. I just want to lay around or I want a little, 10 more extra minutes of sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
that causes me to then go to, all right, I just won't go to church today. So there are times when yes, I'm putting my best foot forward and I honestly for myself know I need this. And there are also times when I'm growing and I'm examining, okay, Ariel, you're not really putting your best foot forward here. So I think there's a balance of that I'm now starting to really realize.
How would you communicate it to your daughters, Amina and Nine, right? So as they get older, what do you think your communication will be about church? Like, is it something that um let me just lean into old school, right?
Mhm.
We grew up, you going to church. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. That's not how I would communicate it to them. First and foremost, I want to facilitate, and I think our parents did a pretty decent job knowing where they came from and how they grew up,
Yeah.
of helping us to cultivate a relationship with God for ourselves. So that
Mm-hmm.
really is the purpose I feel like I have in their life,
Mm-hmm.
right? To help facilitate a personal relationship with God that they then can carry and make it look however they feel they needed to make it look,
Yeah.
right? For their own personal growth. I am not one that's going to force anything onto
Mm-hmm.
them. Now, while they're little, because our family has joined the church, they're
And
going to
we're
go to
going to church. Mommy and daddy are going, you're coming with us.
going to be exposed to a community. They're going to be exposed to fellowship. They're going to be exposed to all these things that I believe is good for them.
Yeah.
But as they get older, I'm certainly not going to force upon them, certain beliefs that they don't feel is right for their life. I would feel comfortable knowing that they have formed a relationship with God for themselves and take it and fly with it. If you need help, I'm here.
I got you. Yeah, I think that's
I,
beautiful.
I want to be more of an example than like telling them what to do and
Uh-huh.
just
Uh-huh.
living by example so that they see for themselves that it's beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
What
Um, well,
your thoughts?
I mean,
What's
I agree with what you're saying. So I was just gonna go back to, like I think one of the reasons the notion and perspective of church has become what it is today, to a degree, right? Is that to your point, you want to be an example, right? So instead of do this, do that, I said, it's more of let me be, right? Let me embody and not push or force with judgment. Let me just embody And I'm confident that they will see it. And then as they're adults, they'll form their own relationship, with God, with that path and how they choose to show that, right? And I think that's beautiful, because I think that is one of the things that has hurt, again, the perspective of church, is that, and I feel like in the past it was more of a do this, but some of the example wasn't there or as strongly as it could have been.
I agree.
So I like what you're saying. That's
What do
it.
you
That's all. Ain't nobody.
I was gonna say what? No, I was asking what would you say to your kids?
Um, I'm also too of the mindset that I'm not too strong about mandating what your relationship should look like with God, right? I do think it's important to have that connection with God, with Source, with the Most High. There's so many names that we can call that spirit. And so I think the practices that should definitely be there. There should be a practice and a discipline around how you connect with the creator. But I wouldn't mandate, like, of course, to your point, like if me and daddy are going, we're going to church, y'all are with us because we're a family, we're a unit. So you're going to see that. But as you get older and you say, well, I think I might, want to lean into, this practice, or I think, I think more aligned with this religion maybe, or ideology. I'm not going to judge that. So it's pretty similar to what you were saying. Now, I'm not as rigid in my practice of church,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I have um, a different view on viewing going to a building, so to speak, as that source that connects me to God, right? As that path that connects me to God. I don't think that all people that go to church believe that, but I do think that there's also a large body that do believe that, right? Like, I have to go to church. I have to be in church to feel God. For me, I can feel God, wherever I am. And so I'm just not as rigid as I got to be there every Sunday.
I think the only thing, so I agree with you. The only thing I would say for me, church brings accountability and fellowship. So that is why I think it's important, because when we stray too far off from convening with those who are like-minded, convening with those who can hold you accountable, can lift you up if you and your family or your spouse are having trouble, you steer away from those teachings and the thought process, and just kind of reminding yourself each time you go into that building of the reasons why you're there. So that's why I feel like it's important, for me and my family, just because, again, it brings about a certain level of acknowledgement, accountability, and fellowship that I think is really important, and that we kind of lose sight of the further and the longer we go from that convening with others that are like-minded.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fellowship aspect is probably, if I were to lean into, any perspective, the fellowship aspect, I think I can, I can align with the most.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think that there's a strong assumption that those that you're fellowshipping with are like-minded. Um, and I also think too that, yes, church does, bring you to people that, if you're going through something, they may be able to, bring you back to the word, or remind you of, right, something that will help you along the way if you're stumbling. But I also think that's important to just have in your everyday circle. And maybe your church, congregation, your church members are your everyday circle. But just to have that in general, I think is important.
Yeah,
So
I hear you. Well, um, it's another Mother Knows.
another week of
Yes,
getting by,
yes,
being
yes.
enlightened.
And definitely, like beyond pushing through, like really, I mean, we have each other, but like leaning on others, there were multiple examples of us leaning on each other throughout the week. But I think that that's a beautiful thing. So hopefully our community has that in their life.
Yeah.
Find those people
For
that are
sure,
your,
for sure,
you know,
for
your
sure.
rock, your village. Lean on them. Share your thoughts, comments,
Tell us
like,
how your week went,
share.
how it's going, you know.
Right. We want to know. All
Moms
right.
tap in.
You can find us at Motha Knows Co on YouTube and TikTok, and also Mother_knows on Instagram. Until next time, we out.
Peace, peace, peace. Bye.